Hey, Bulls and Bears, we're back with another dose of economic reality. It is Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. I hope everyone of you watching right now is doing well. We got a lot of news to get into. Before we get into the news, quick story. I was at the thrift store today and I did a small scale garage clean out. So I had to donate some stuff. So I'm dropping off stuff at the thrift store. I want to do a bigger garage clean out, but when you start buying stuff that you already have just because you can't find it, it's time to clean out the garage. So it's getting sort of that point. So donating some stuff at the thrift store. I went in and looked around after I dropped the stuff off, see if I could find anything. And there's a guy at the cash register basically yelling, well, raising his voice really loud. Someone call it yelling at the at the cashier because the cost of a used pair of shoes was too much, right? If I see something that costs too much at a thrift store, at any store, I'm just not going to buy it. Are you going to go yell at the poor cashier because something is tagged, the wrong price, or maybe just a price that you don't like? Just don't buy it. So people I'm seeing more people lose their temper. I'm seeing more incidents of road rage. I'm looking at the news, looking at seeing more incidents of just people just snapping. And I've always said that I think a big part of it is the financial situation for a lot of people. I think the big part of people stealing and the big uptick in theft and the stores that had to close because of theft. We see Walmart's closing down entire cities, getting out of entire cities for Walmart. We see Chicago area. What was it? Portland we reported on. Uh, so these things I think all go back to the financial situation. When someone, a first-time home buyer, let's say, if you see a bunch of people run into a store stealing stuff, how many of those people do you think are first-time home buyers? They just bought their first home. They're trying to move up the ladder, so to speak, the wealth ladder. No, most of these people are in poverty, poor, desperate, and a lot of them just mad at the world, I think. So that's my opinion. And the more people lose their temper, I just think it's a symptom of the broader economy here, right? Just wanted to put that out there. Dow Jones today down for the fourth day in a row because why? The debt ceiling, right? And it's kind of a divide on this. There's people out there saying the debt ceiling is always going to be increased. I happen to be one of them. Other people say that this is going to be used. They're going to bring in this crisis of the non-passage of the debt ceiling to usher in the whole new financial system in Fed Now, which is basically already live. It's just not on a wide scale yet. So there's people out there saying that this could be the catalyst for the next digital dollar, which is going to be a very dark time. If the Fed dollar gets in there, they're going to completely control everything you can do. Now there's so many banks; it's very hard for them to control what people spend their money on because there's just so many different branches. But if they can consolidate the banking system down to just a few mega banks, then it's much easier to control people, right? So that's kind of the talking point that I have been hearing of the people out there saying that this is going to be the default to bring in the new system, right? So we'll see. I'm not saying that it's gonna or not gonna happen. I'm just saying that either way, we're in a big mess, right? So endless debt, big mess. We have inflation getting out of control. It has gotten out of control. It is continuing to be a kind of a knife in the back of a lot of people. A thorn in the side, knife in the back, thorn in the side. I'd rather have a thorn in the side than a knife in the back. But the debt is increasing exponentially. Most people don't have much further to go before they're going to have to file bankruptcy. There's a lot of people out there being pushed to their financial limits. And I know because I talk to them every day at my job. All right, let's get into some other news here. Small business spending tumbles, the first annual drop since January 2021. According to Bank of America, internal card data, total payments per small business clients, which includes ACHs, cards, wires, checks, and person-to-business payments, contracted 8% year over year. Another ominous sign for the economy. So why are we seeing all these ominous signs if the economy was fine, if there's nothing to worry about? Another thing, too, about the debt ceiling, they could use the non-passage of the debt ceiling as a way to usher in the correction, to usher in the crash. And that way they don't have to blame any of the other problems, all the money printing, the 12 years of rock bottom interest rates, the mountains of debt. They don't have to blame any of that. They can just blame a few, politicians for not coming to an agreement sooner. That's another theory I see floated out there. Either way, be prepared for the worst. Do I think they're going to pass the debt ceiling? Yeah, I think they're always going to pass it. Is there a new financial system that they're looking to usher in? Absolutely. Just type in Fed now. It's a new payment system. It's not the central bank digital currency that so many people are fearing, but it is the platform for what could be the next monetary system. So prepare for the worst. I always say have several months of canned goods, water. I'm not saying the water is going to get shut off. Maybe you drink tap water, so maybe you're not worried about it. I try not to drink tap water. So I have Berkey water filters. I have a bunch of 5-gallon jugs of water. Try to keep at least like a couple months worth in case something goes on. Worst case scenario, you can drink tap water. The really worst case scenario, you can filter out pond water with a Berkey filter. There's other ways to filter it out using sand and soil. Another topic for another channel. But bottom line is be prepared. Have some survival money out of the system. Whatever you think you'll be able to use to barter with, maybe people in your surrounding area will take cash. Maybe something else besides cash will be more valuable. Maybe food, maybe canned goods, right? So have some of each, because we're headed into 2023 is going to be, at some point this year, we're going to see another 2020 type of shock, I think. And I'm not saying it's going to be exactly what happened in 2020, but there is a talk of a new infection roaming in China. So we'll see how that turns out, a new variant. So we'll have to see how that turns out. All right, more news here. Verizon announcing layoffs. I always thought that cell phone providers, cellular providers, were one of the most immune to economic downturns and layoffs because people love their cell phones. What's going on with Verizon? Verizon warns customer service employees of pending layoffs. Extensive layoffs across its customer service group. The company told affected employees. Does this story give us a number? The company is going to do restructuring and streamlining. So I think a lot of that could be AI, where you call in, you can't talk to a person. They try to get you to walk through a self-service menu. Not really that type of AI. That's just one of the things. There's other things happening. More than 6,000 employees were present on Wednesday's call, adding that consolidation measures could end up impacting numbers far beyond that. The carrier had lost 127,000 net monthly bill-paying wireless phone subscribers in the last quarter. I think a lot of that is customers going to lower rate companies, lower rate providers. I went to Cricket Wireless, and before that I was with T-Mobile, and it was quite a bit cheaper, right? Especially with the family plan. So a lot of that might not be an economic warning sign, but it might be just people being more choosy about their cell phone bill. I'm not going to starve if I have a cell phone bill that's too high, but I just like giving my company, I like giving my money to a company that gives good deals. I like to reward companies that are doing things right, that have the best deal. So also, I think everybody should do that in their budget, not just because you're going to save money yourself, but because you want to reward companies that give you a good deal. The hard part, or the sad part, is a lot of times it's the big mega companies that can afford to give the best deals, and your local mom and pop shop, they have to fight with inflation and rising rents and leases for their office space. So they have to fight just to stay alive and try to compete with these big mega companies. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. What do you think? This debt ceiling, is this just another drama before the inevitable increase, or is something different this time? Please let me know what you think down in comments. Either way, I hope you're prepared for the uncertain and the unexpected, and come back to this channel for more updates. Thanks for being here, everybody. Bye now. Peace.